Oh, good. Hey, John. I'd like to call this meeting of the Clay County Commission to order. We will begin this evening with our invocation. Pastor Phil, if you'd like to come forward, please.
Hand has led us as a free people across the past 2.5 centuries. Through storms of nature that battered the coasts of our continent and winds that swept across the wheat fields of the Great Plains, we have witnessed wagon trains full of settlers heading west along the trails that were eventually paved with asphalt and concrete. Our forebears built log cabins and skyscrapers. Little country schools were replaced with great brick high schools. And the business of the people has been conducted under all kinds of structures. Our houses of worship started out made of logs, only to be replaced by magnificent cathedrals. We are a people who have watched and participated in the building of and the passage of history, and in every age of this nation, you, Lord God, have had your hand upon us. If we owe a debt of gratitude to our nation's founders, how much more should we extend grateful hearts and prayers to the one those founders pointed to as their strength, guide, and protector? From standing armies knee-deep in the snow with George Washington to our mighty military of today, you and you alone have been that constant which caused presidents and lawmakers, judges and pastors, farmers and homemakers to give pause in the midst of our labors and challenges to breathe out whispers and anthems of praise and gratitude. You, Lord God, have preserved us in this nation's history, and you, Lord God, are the one we trust to preserve and prosper the forces of freedom and peace today. Grant, Father in heaven, your wisdom to all who serve as public servants. Pour inspiration into the minds and hearts of everyone tasked with the decisions of this hour in our country's life. From our president to our governors, from our lawmakers to our law enforcers, from those whose names are famous to those who labor and live in the peace of an ordinary life. Give us, Lord, your blessings, that future generations may enjoy what so many others have sacrificed blood and treasure to preserve. Give this commission your spirit of clarity and action, that the business of the people who serve would serve the best interests of everyone who call Clay County their home. These petitions and praises we offer to heaven, knowing you hear and respond to the prayers of people whose hearts are filled with faith and whose hands are ever extended to the assistance of our neighbors. In that name above all names we pray. Amen.
Will you join me in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Nolte?
Here.
Commissioner Withington? Commissioner Lawson?
Here.
Commissioner Wagner? Commissioner Johnson?
Here.
Commissioner Thompson?
Here.
Commissioner Carpenter?
Here. Thank you. That brings us to approval of this evening's agenda. Commissioner Johnson?
Move to approve tonight's agenda.
Motion has been made for the approval of this evening's agenda. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, you are recognized to close.
I close.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson?
Yes.
Commissioner Carpenter?
Yes.
Commissioner Lawson?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Next on our agenda are public comments. Are there any members of the public who would like to address the commission on any issues that are important to them? Mr. Sheriff.
Hello, Commissioners. Will Aiken, Clay County Sheriff. Not very often do I get to recognize other members of the Clay County team. And tonight I want to do just that in this setting. And the person that I want to recognize is Lindsey Cronky. He works for facilities management. And what I want to recognize him for is what I observed with my own eyes, I believe it was a couple weeks ago. It was during the trial, and there was 4 or 5 employees in my office looking out the window. And when I walked in, I was like, uh-oh, what's going on? And they were all talking about Lindsey and how he just goes above and beyond in everything that he does for the sheriff's office and what they have known him to do for the rest of Clay County. And so I look and I'm like, well, what is he doing now? And he's out picking up big branches that have been falling off the tree in the courtyard in front of the courthouse while it was pouring rain. All right, and so someone has to do it, right? Well, I guess anybody would say, yeah, somebody has to do it, but it was pouring rain and he was out there picking up these branches because in my mind, I'm thinking he doesn't want anyone to have to either, walk over them or trip over them, fall, so he was actually keeping the walkway clear for everyone that still had to go to the courthouse. So just, from something very small, like we think we're doing our job and nobody's noticing, people like Lindsey do this kind of stuff every day for the citizens of Clay County, the residents of Clay County, and for our team. And with that, I just want to recognize Lindsey for a job well done. And everything that he does not go unnoticed. So, Lindsey. So, this is a certificate of recognition from the Sheriff's Office, and it's made out to Lindsey. The Clay County Sheriff's Office would like to recognize Lindsey Cronky for going above and beyond during a recent storm. While rain poured and court was still in session, Lindsey was out in the courtyard clearing fallen tree branches to keep walkways safe for the community members coming to the courthouse. His hard work and dedication did not go unnoticed and deserves recognition. So again, Lindsey, thank you so much for everything that you do.
I appreciate it.
Right. Commissioners, can I have you come down and take a picture with us? Let's go over here. Thanks. Thank you. Congrats. Thanks. I appreciate it. Did you want to say a few words? No, no. No, I do not. Come on, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sheriff, for bringing that to our attention. We certainly appreciate the recognition and pointing out the great job that Lindsey is doing. So that's very kind, very thoughtful of you. Any other commissioners wish to make any comments? Commissioner Lawson.
I just wanted to say one thing. Anytime I see him, he's doing something. He really is. I see him outside all the time. I was teasing him the other day because he was cutting the grass or something. And I said, when you get through there, come on over to my house. He said, you're about the 5th person that has said this to me. But he is always busy, and he's always so congenial. He's just a pleasure to be around. So congratulations, well deserved.
Very well. Are there any other citizens wishing to come forward and address the commission? Seeing none. That brings us to our consent agenda. Mr. Administrator?
Yes. We have 5 items on our consent agenda tonight. The first one is approval of invoice payments for Clay County for the period of October 4th through October 10th. We have a total of 438 invoices totaling $2,745,344.86. The other one is 2025316, is approval of 2026 Missouri Blue Shield Grant Program award agreement for $50,000 for the Missouri Department of Public Safety with our Sheriff Department. That's a program through the Governor's Office that we applied for earlier this year and received a $50,000 grant this year. The next one is approval of apportionment of fines, interest, and escrow of Clay County Treasurer. These are for the period of September 1st, 2024 through August 31st of 2025 in the amount of $521,509.02. Next one is 2025-319. Is approval of renewal of the Midwest National Air Center's general liability insurance for ACE property and casualty insurance risk management item. And that is for the policy period of October 14th of 2025 through October 14th of 2028 in the amount of $32,967. And the last one is 2025-320. Approve renewal of the 2026 intergovernmental agreement with Mid-America Regional Council, Solid Waste Management District, Regional Household Hazardous Waste Collection Program. That's in the amount of $18,132.84. And that concludes our consent agenda for tonight.
Commissioner Johnson.
Move to approve tonight's consent agenda.
Motion has been made for the approval of this evening's consent agenda. Are there any discussion? Seeing none, you are recognized to close.
I close.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson?
Yes.
Commissioner Carpenter?
Yes.
Commissioner Lawson?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
That brings us to our regular agenda. First item on this evening's regular agenda is 2025-315. Mr. Administrator.
Yes, 2025-315, approval of invoice payments for Clay County Prosecutor's Office for the period of October 4th through October 10th of 2025. We have a total of 9 invoices totaling $2,785.49.
Hold on.
Any questions regarding 2025-315?
Commissioner Johnson.
Move to approve 2025-315.
Motion has been made for the approval of 2025-315. Discussion? Seeing none, you are recognized to close.
I close.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson?
I recuse myself?
Commissioner Carpenter?
Yes.
Commissioner Lawson?
Yes.
Motion passes 3 in favor, 1 recusal.
Next on our agenda is 2025-321. Mr. Administrator.
Yes, 2025-321 is approval of RFP 109-25, United Equipment Automated Teller Machine ATM Services. And we have Captain Nagdarian here to do additional information regarding that one.
Please proceed, Captain.
Good evening, Commission. Won't be as exciting as the last presentation I had here. I have no videos for you tonight, but this is a pretty important issue that we've been working on for quite some time. With the assistance of the purchasing department, the Sheriff's Office asked for an RFP for ATM services. We had in the past worked with facilities and IT to make sure that we could even provide the electrical connection and internet connectivity for something like this. And then we were able to proceed with the RFP. So we bring you tonight the RFP response from United Equipment. And it was the only vendor that responded, but we are perfectly happy to accept that bid and move forward, hopefully in the near future, with an ATM to be installed in the lobby of the detention center, which will be very helpful to members of the public as well as people who do business with the Sheriff's Office, because we take cash for fee payments and things like that. And often we have to turn people away. They have to go find an ATM. This is going to be much more beneficial and efficient for our services as well as for the community.
Thank you. Sounds like it's a much-needed add-on for services to the public.
Yes, and I would like to thank the purchasing department, Director Craig, I'm going to mess up your name, I'm sorry, Reich, right? Correct, yes, Director, our newly appointed Director Reich, and Ethel Kitchell, who has been very, very diligent in helping us get this across the finish line.
Commissioner Johnson.
Move to approve 2025-321.
Motion has been made for the approval of 2025-321. Discussion. I'm sorry, Commissioner Lawson.
Did you guys ever notice that even when the sheriff's here, he always has her ask? Because he knows we will never turn her in.
Usually he sneaks up behind me, though. Today he didn't, but usually.
Lonely at the top, isn't it, Will? Very good. With that, if there's no further discussion, you're recognized to close.
I close.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson?
Yes.
Commissioner Carpenter?
Yes.
Commissioner Lawson?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next issue is 2025-318. Mr. Administrator.
Yes, 2025-318, approval of Lowe's Home Centers LLC discount program. We have our purchasing department director, Craig.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Commission. Craig Reich, Purchasing Manager. This is just a agreement / program with Lowe's through Omnia Partners, which is a national public purchasing group, for a discount and rebate program for us basically doing what we're already doing. We're just gaining a benefit for doing something that we're already doing. We'll be getting a 5% discount on anything we purchase from here on out, as well as depending on how much money we spend, 2%, 4%, or 7% rebate at the end of the year. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions or comments? I see none. Commissioner Johnson?
Move to approve 2025-318.
Motion's been made for the approval of 2025-318. Any further discussion? Seeing none, you are recognized to close.
I close.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson?
Yes.
Commissioner Carpenter?
Yes.
Commissioner Lawson?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
That brings us to our last item under a regular agenda. That is 2025 Ordinance 25. Mr. Administrator.
Yes, 2025 Ordinance 25, approval of updated annual fee schedules for long-term planning. And we have Auditor Victor Holbert who will do additional information regarding that.
Please proceed.
Thank you. Victor Hurlbert, Clay County Auditor. Every year we bring to you the fee schedules 5 years out that essentially do long-term financial planning and also assist with our upcoming budget in 2026 with revenues. I want to thank all the departments that provide input and feedback in preparing this together. You have 12 sets of fee schedules. I did want to take a little bit different of an approach this year, besides just the fee schedules that are already in your packet. Wanted to give you a brief kind of high-level overview of the financial trends, so the revenues that come from the fees that you're about to set. I think that's important for the commission just to understand, what is the impact, what's the why, and the what of the fees that we're setting here. And so we can see going back 4 years through 2021, and then I updated as of today through 2025 year to date, and next year's budget, we can see these 12 categories, the revenues that they generate. So these, of course, are not all the revenues in these various offices, just the ones that are presented for you tonight for the respective fee schedules. On the whole for the county, they do make up less than 10% of operating revenues. So we see, from roughly $8.5 million in 2021 to 2024, a little bit of a decrease to $6.9 million. So that range was about 9.8% of operating revenue in 2021, down to 6.5% in 2024. If I were to make an assessment of the reason for that or the cause, I would point to some strange trends during the pandemic, especially with parks, the housing market, and the recorder of deeds. We could make a best guess as to the cause for that. But overall, those trends have returned essentially back to normal if we go back even longer years. If you have any questions at any time about this or through each individual fee schedule, please let me know. But otherwise, the plan from here is then to really go through each individual fee schedule in brief. But here's that chart. Before we do that, in a graph picture, just kind of visualize that data in the graph representation. And so the only thing I really point out, it's interesting to me that through that timeline, the golf course has increased every year. So that's just something that really sticks out as kind of an outlier. So with that, we'll start with the airport. Referring also to the fee schedule, I'll kind of look at two documents at once, but the fee schedule in your packet, the only thing changing with the airport is out in the year 2030. So nothing in the more immediate year 2026. And this does not really affect anything to do with the hangar lease agreements. These are more the fee schedules in particular. But you can see the trend specifically with the airport. Of course, we now have the new FBO arrangement, and so we have a smaller proportion that's being provided through the FBO rather than directly from our tenants and those fuel sales. Any questions on the airport? Okay. Move on to the county clerk. Certainly, we do have representatives here tonight as well, if you have any specific questions of them. We're really only changing the 2030, keeping everything essentially the same from the current fee schedule. And you can see, some sort of trends there dating back. Any questions? All right, the golf course. Actually, before I get to the golf course, I'm sorry, I do not have a chart for facilities fees, but there are fees associated with reserving rooms, so that's outlined in your packet. There's really no change. And GIS as well, I would say GIS is a newer department, and so you only have 2 years of data there, so I did not create its own slide. But for the GIS fee schedules, the only thing changing that the director is proposing is to change the postage. So it would be charged at the rate that it is. Rather than setting a rate, it's going to be whatever the postage rate is. So then I'll go to, after GIS, I'll go to the golf course. There are more immediate changes starting in 2026 to some of the fees. So as a reminder, the fees at the golf course that we receive from the golf course, 34% commission on carts, and then 100% of the green fees. There's the historic site trends. Moving on to historic sites. There are some more immediate changes there in the Jesse James Bank Museum and Mount Gilead. Any questions with historic sites? All right. Marketing and tourism, we do have the ability to charge fees for those. I'll move on to planning and zoning. Director Jones cannot be here tonight. The only change he had related to a title in the Clay County Compass 2040 plan, if individuals want to purchase a copy. So it's just an update to a title. But there are the trends on the plan and zoning fees as well. All right, Parks Department, I'll spend a little bit of time here. We do have Director John Davis here as well. No real changes to entrance fees, camping, and you see the associated trends here at the parks. But I would like him to come up and to explain, we do need direction tonight from the commission about options for non-resident charges on marina slips. So Director Davis.
Good evening, John Davis, Parks Director. After the discussion a couple months back about marina boat slips, it was asked that we start looking at a resident and non-resident fees. Just for your knowledge, Clay County residents that hold slips, there's 379 people. And then there's 239 that are outside the county, or non-residents, and there's total of 618 total. So that's about 40, just about 40% that are non-resident. Tonight, we've presented two options for you. I've actually got three, but I'll get to the third. One is 10% increase for non-residents for slips. The second would be a 20% increase for non-residents. 20% difference is the same as what we do for day passes. So if you have your day vehicle or boat pass, then that's, if you're a resident, you get 20% discount. Option 3, which probably won't fly, but we're in the middle of the master plan, and we could stay with what we got, and then after their recommendations next year, do the resident and non-resident fees. So, y'all have questions?
What's your recommendation?
I would say number 3, wait on the master plan, but if that's a no with you all, I would go to 20.
Okay.
I kind of know where that was going to go, so I
Thanks.
just, 20 keeps it consistent with everything else.
Commissioner Carpenter.
Thanks. So the option 3 in terms of waiting, the idea there is they will recommend perhaps a complete overhaul to the fees, and so there will be sort of an additional subsequent change coming at that time, so might as well wait. Is that kind of the thought?
They very well could. So
Yeah.
they could say we charge too much, they could say we charge too less. So,
Right.
But
When would you anticipate getting that from them and then being able to implement it after we do?
as of right now, the master plan will probably be finished by June or July of next year.
So it wouldn't be in time for like the summer season, unless we did it but well, we wouldn't do it mid-season, would we?
No.
Okay. So
You
we'd
would
be
probably,
waiting.
what would happen is you would wait till this time next year and
Right.
implement those changes.
So then we're talking 2027 for
Yes, sir.
for an overhaul. I mean, I'm open to either option. The 20% makes a lot of sense in terms of, the symmetry with what we do with the day passes in terms of the advantage for our residents. But I also take your point of the benefit of just, if we're going to change it again that quickly, just waiting. So I'm open to either, certainly.
Commissioner Johnson.
I'm also curious if our county administrator has any thoughts on that.
My recommendation, I mean, ultimately with us looking at changing it very quickly, when I say quickly, I mean in the next year, to wait until we hear back from them, they'll give us more of a resemblance of what happens in other places. I mean, for the most part, we want to use that as our tool to make an informed decision. I mean, right now, we're making it based off what we believe should happen, but to have these consultants bring us back what has happened in other places will help us make an informed decision.
Which means we would make a change till actually probably 2027.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Further questions or discussion? Mr. Counselor, I assume what we need now is a motion that would identify one of the 3 options put forward? It's probably the simplest way to do it. Okay. Was anybody open to making a motion? Commissioner Johnson.
Yeah, so I'm all for letting the county administrator be the county administrator, so I recommend his recommendation of, or I should say, I move that we postpone any changes until after the master, what are we calling it?
Master plan.
After the master plan is completed next year.
Now, mind you, these changes are only for those fees.
I'm sorry, can you say that again,
It's only for the
please?
fees.
Right.
Correct.
Right, yeah, I'm sorry.
Motion has been made. Discussion. Commissioner Carpenter.
Yeah, excuse me. Just that I think that makes sense to me, and Director Davis as well. That seems to be their joint conclusion, and it does make sense, right? If we're going to potentially overhaul it again that quickly, instead of putting people through the ringer of multiple changes every year, just doing it once might make more sense. So support the motion.
I think you're right. I also agree with Commissioner Johnson's point of taking the administrator's views into account. He is, after all, the person who is got his hands on all the end of all the strings here. So I think that's good for both reasons. I think this is a good motion. Further discussion or comment? Seeing none, you are recognized to close.
I close.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson?
Yes.
Commissioner Carpenter?
Yes.
Commissioner Lawson?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you. That concludes our regular agenda. That brings us to County Administrator comments. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. You're so quiet over there. Thank you very much, Commissioner Johnson.
Well, we made it to the P's in the alphabet, so we're almost there. But yeah, so Recorder of Deeds. Only change we had was to the cost for bulk images. The recorder wanted to hold off on the increase that was planned for 2026 and keep it at 10 cents and assess what that would be. You can see the revenue trend here starting to increase in 2024. They started that subscription revenue, so I think that's a good reason that could be occurring. And then lastly, we do have the sheriff fees. Sheriff is here. So really just two categories. Inmate housing from cities is the one that we're setting this evening. And then also, oh, I skipped the road and bridge department. I apologize. Don't have a slide for them because they're only one category. So road and bridge, they are adding a new fee this year called a right-of-way utility permit. Director is here, it's $100. If there are any questions for that. But then, okay, now I'll go back to sheriff, I apologize. Okay, so we got really two categories here. It looks to me like there was kind of a change. You can see concealed carry was high in 21 and then that changed, but then inmate housing from cities went up in 22 and it stayed there in 24 as far as the trend history. What's changing, what's being proposed to change, nothing in 2026 for what's charged to cities. The concealed carry, much like most of these fees, are set by statute. So there's really not a lot of leeway anyway. We just present them to you for information. But then finally, there is a new category of the Law Enforcement Resource Center. Fees of $300 daily range rental, half-day range rental, $175. Certainly they're available to answer any questions. From our standpoint, I think we'll want to see what are the actuals on that so we can make a budget assessment, set up an appropriate account. It's kind of very new yet, but that's what they've proposed. Do you have any more information on that, or otherwise that is all I have.
Commissioners, if you have any questions, feel free to ask and we can help do or provide some more information. But
Commissioner John, I'm sorry, you were saying?
yeah, I was just going to say two things that I want to point out is one for the concealed carry. I don't think it was in 21, but it might have been in 19. The state of Missouri actually made constitutional carry in the state of Missouri, so we saw CCW fees drop dramatically. So the reason why we still are at this level is because, in order to leave the state of Missouri and carry concealed, you still have to have a CCW for reciprocity. For inmate housing, the housing or the inmate population that we have in our jail currently, we do not allow for municipals to house in our facility at this time because we have too many. In fact, our inmate population was 402 yesterday. And our design capacity is only 380. And then when you add classification to it, we can't hold 380, so that forces us to have to house inmates out at other jail facilities. And that's something that the county administrator and I are currently working on trying to find solutions. But until we unfortunately build a new jail, we're going to continue to have a lot of problems. But that's a long-term effort that we're going to be working on.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yeah, actually, I'll just piggyback on what you just said about that long-term effort that I think we got to, and you and I have had this conversation, is we have to stop kicking that can down the road. That's something's going to happen. I know from the municipal side, having worked in municipal law enforcement, when the county can't take any of your bodies, that means you kick them back out on the streets. And that becomes a problem for our local PDs as well, which becomes a problem for all of us because the criminals don't know boundaries, and so it's a problem for all of us in the county.
Exactly.
So we see it happen even worse in other counties where they have it much, much worse. I work in one of them now, and it's a real problem. and we don't want to get like that. So I guess I'm just saying, hey, we don't want to kick that can much further. If we need to start working on that pretty soon. It's going to be a very complex, tricky deal to manage, but it's something that needs to be done. But also, Victor, you mentioned 2 fees, a $300 range fee. What was that? What were those for? Is that for range rental fees or something like that? I heard a $300 fee and $175 or something like that.
I just want to confirm what he mentioned, so I have it right in my
Yeah.
head on how to answer that question.
That had to do with the new training center.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so the Law Enforcement Resource Center, we're working on a schedule fee right now, which actually has a little bit more information, but until we actually get there, we won't know what it actually is going to be, right? So these are the ones that we're currently working with, but the Law Enforcement Resource Center, we wanted to use as a regional asset to allow other law enforcement agencies, to include our federal partners, to use that building for training. Not just the range itself, but for our classrooms, so we can continue doing the training that we need to do for our CEUs.
Right.
So what the auditor has here, this is what we have initially, but we will, once we get it dialed in, we'll have more information on what those fees look like.
But just real quick, so I think you said 300 for the range, but I didn't know what the other one was for, 175. Was that just for the facility?
Half-day range rental.
Oh, half-day
So,
range,
yes.
okay.
Yeah.
That makes
And,
sense.
you know, it's one of those things that we don't know what we don't know,
Yeah.
because our regional, our law enforcement resource center, there's no other place like it, except I think until you get to the St. Louis area into Illinois. So it's something that is going to be brand new for our area, and we're still having to work out the details. But this is what we're thinking right now.
Yeah,
The
that's good. No,
idea, the idea behind it was, it's not meant to be a revenue generator,
Right.
but we want it to pay for itself. And then also a little bit extra, so that if something breaks, because things break, that we want to have a line item that we can put in for maintenance costs.
Okay.
You know, the range alone was $1.3 million. You know, basically that's the backstop. And so if any component on that breaks, I don't want to have to come to you and ask for $70,000 to repair a slat.
Yeah. Oh, I know a chief in Jackson County that might be talking to you about using that range for $300 a
I'd
day.
love to talk with him.
Any questions or comments? Okay, anything that you care to add, Mr. Sheriff?
Nope, that's it. Thank you.
Okay.
And that's all I have. If you have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer them, but that is the fee schedules for 2026 and beyond.
Does anybody have any questions of the auditor? Or would you like to engage in any discussion? Seeing none. Oh, it's Commissioner Carpenter, I'm sorry.
No, that's right. No questions. Just want to say thanks again for presentation, and you've done the fee schedules every year and done them well, so we appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, I think we're all really grateful for the work that you put in, everybody, particularly the auditor. I had occasion today to go through the budget online, and I got to tell you, it is incredibly easy compared to, past years. The improvements are just, completely mind-boggling. So thank you for everybody, for everybody on staff who make sure that those things run right, because it allows a regular citizen go on there and get a good grip on what it is that we're doing with their money. So thank you for that. Mr. Johnson.
2 things. First of all, I want anybody listening at home to understand, and I think the sheriff just mentioned that, is that these fees that we're imposing here, they're basically to cover the cost, the expenses of doing business. This isn't one of those things that we're making money off of at the county. It's not like another tax or anything like that. It's hey, if there's a service that you require, whatever that is on that list that you saw, if it's a service that you require and that you're asking for, then you're paying for just our cost to cover that, whatever that service is. So just know that this isn't any extra. We're not making money off this deal, put it that way. So do we need a motion for this?
I believe we do.
Move to approve 2025 ordinance 25.
Motion's been made for passage of 2025 ordinance 25. Discussion. Seeing none, you are recognized to close.
I close.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Johnson? Yes. Commissioner Thompson?
Yes.
Commissioner Carpenter?
Yes.
Commissioner Lawson?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you. That brings us to County Administrator comments.
Yes. Just in recognition of Commissioner Whittington not being here tonight, just remind you of, some know it as the Golden Dome and some know it as the Fighting Irish, but many know it as Notre Dame. Make sure you remember that. I was asked to deliver that message to those who know who they are, that the game is coming up this weekend. That'll be it. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Lawson, that's now brings us to Commissioner comments. Commissioner Lawson. Commissioner Johnson.
Explains why Commissioner Whittington called me right before the meeting and said, call me right after, let me know how it goes. So I'll let him know, all right?
Commissioner Thompson. Commissioner Carpenter.
No doubt. Thank you.
Okay. I do want to give a quick update on a couple of things. Let's take a moment for that. Obviously, we have concerns over where the Mental Health Board is going. The update is this: I've asked, we as a commission, have asked the auditor to come up with an evaluation of how their books look. He is on that process. He is on that task, and he is working through that process. And likewise, I've asked the county councilor to take a little bit deeper dive into those ordinances. Those two things would be precursors to us then taking that up once we have as much solid information as possible for discussion before this body. So they are working diligently, and I look forward to seeing their work product. Also, the MARC board, the MARC has a board called TTPC, that's Total Transportation Committee. The administrator, I don't know if he's done it yet or not, but there are going to be some changes. It will be coming to your email boxes shortly. There are some changes on the structure of that committee. Along with that, the Platte County Presiding Commissioner had some recommendations that we might consider. So what I would like to do is to make sure that everybody gets that, they have a chance to look it over, and also to evaluate what they think of the thoughts that are expressed by the Presiding Commissioner in Platte County. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know, or Tom. No, he also sits on that committee. So questions or comments, please come to us. Let us know. We'll try to do our best to answer any questions or find those answers if you like. So with that, I have nothing further to add. We are adjourned.